your new Toyota Starlet Cross. Own it.
It is TV powered by World Sports Betting. It is time to CO.za. It's Orlando Pirates to the final of the Nedbank Cup. They beat Marumo Gallants 1-0. That's a very interesting game, of course, because Marumo Gallants were always in the game. Unfortunately, they did not have bite. They didn't really test Umelusi Buthelezi, who's a backup goalkeeper for Orlando Pirates. Orlando Pirates, well-deserved win. Could have scored maybe one or two more in the second half as well, because the game was broken in the second half as well. Lindo Pep, our analyst, what did you make of the game, sir?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
no, Ngulisi technical director,
Yes,
chairman, no Bob Zinu Cardoso,
Yes, sir.
no Shane and Shane Lacona, Mr. Nkeu, man. Chasta, yeah, out here, strong. Mr. Nkeu, man, credit to Orlando Pirates, credit to Jose Rivero.
Yet another final?
Yeah, yet another final, 16 in a row. I think it's third now.
Is it in a row?
It's not in a Nedbank Cup final.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, third in a row for Nedbank Cup. That's why, to be specific, Nedbank, I think, is won 5.
But it's a lot of finals.
Yeah, it's a lot of finals, to be honest with you. More especially in 3 seasons, very successful coach in this country. The biggest credit that you can give Jose Rivera, I think, Nkulego, is not only the trophies that he's leaving in this country, but I think it's the soul for me. I think he gave us younger players who have the potential to play in the PSL for the next 10 years. Encourages players like Abu Tito Mosongai to dribble, to play according to their strengths. Encourages players like Abu Mrilem Fukeng to play according to their strengths. Yeah. That's something that we always have to cherish, more especially with foreign people that come into this country. They cannot come into this country and not allow us to be ourselves, which is the most important thing. I think even us at work, if you were to ask me, Lindo, do you prefer to be PR answers or to be, I would love to be myself, as I am very passionate in being myself, answering questions based on what I feel. I think that's the very same way with Abu Patrick Tito Maswangai, very same how he deals with them. I think he's also a student of the game. But credit to Umatia and credit to Vusisbia, Abai Marumo Gallants. I think they were broken by an exceptional goal. Firstly, let's break down that goal. You look at that pass from Mukabelo Dlamini, a very forward pass. But also before
that ball was coming from somewhere. I can't remember where it was coming from. Tina, we remember what happened in the final third. Yeah. And it was a lot of passes, but it must have been coming from somewhere. So it is a well-constructed goal because it comes from it didn't only start in the final third where there were 3 or 4 different players who touched the ball from the Pirates as well. Well-constructed goal.
Well-constructed goal. But Nkulego, those goals are those are the best goals for me because that speaks about the process of football. I'm obsessed about those goals because they are training count. That goal you can punch your finger with. But firstly, maybe where we see the goal, Bonukamelo Dlamini plays a forward pass, something that I always emphasize Guma 8 with. The first option is always to find a striker, to always find a winger. He finds Utito Maswangai, who drives with the ball. Love Utito because he always provokes the opponent to come and jump into the next line. He plays the 1-2 no Mohaunkota, but what makes that goal is the pass come Mohaunkota. Why does it make it? That one-touch pass makes the goal. Why? Because the team is destabilized. Abeko in their right positions. So if you take a touch, Nkulego, they can shift and get into their normal positions. So that pass, Ibambu out of position, Utito makes the right decision. When he gets an opportunity in the box, he plays it with his outside foot. Unacceptable. There's a difference between this pass and this pass, Nkulego. Development, that's why it's important, right? He plays that ball, Utito uses his right foot. I also like the detail. He waits for the ball, he opens his body, he passes it on. Well constructed. A goal of the highest quality, no complication. A goal, in my opinion, a technical goal, a goal of the highest quality. But defensively, Marumo Gallants, the whole 90 minutes, in my opinion, Vosi, Matenya, and I think they've played very well. Ekna, without the ball, played well, but with the ball, I think he let them down. Couldn't find the passes that he was trying to find. The only player that played well, I think, is the boy who was playing in front of him, the number 15, Nemtenjan Lobega Sumisi shot. I think he looks very energetic. He avails himself, can find a forward pass, can link with his forward players. The only thing that was letting them down was the forward players that were starting.
Can we talk about how they only, if we are being genuinely honest, they were organized in Marumo Gallants. They are coached by a North African and Moroccan coach, and they look like they are coached by a North African. There's this obsession with North Africa of picking and choosing games and then defending in most of the games. Why is it that it takes them the last 15 minutes of the game where they put 3 different strikers, Dinon Lovu, Mango in the second half, Dinon Lovu, Mango, and Junior Dion as well? Why is it that they were only chasing the goal in the last 15 minutes? And even then, they were not good enough in finding those attackers. They didn't give them the pass that they needed.
From a tactical perspective, their thinking is, if I keep it 1-0 for 80 minutes in the game, I have an opportunity to create one opportunity and get a draw. The second thing is, he's probably thinking in his head, I cannot lose by more than 3 goals against Orlando Pirates. Because if you look at the game model, Nkulego, is...
What is the difference if it's a knockout tournament? Like, why would you... I understand from an owner, it's a difficult explanation to the owner. Because you have to go there and say, Shai, we're 5-0, But you lost anyways. Even if you lost 1-0 or 5-0, you are out of the tournament. I get what you're saying about be alive in the game for as long as possible. But I felt that Marumo Gallants had a goal in them against the Pirates. Why did they only try to score a goal in the last 10, 15 minutes?
I think the coaches were panicking, Kolego. And also not just panicking. I think it's also the model of how they started that game based on how they prepared during the week. Their thinking was consolidate. Yes, it's a cup game, but play in moments. But I feel that the players let him down in this instance because they looked very technically, they could find each other. But I think the forward pass was letting them down. Also, I think the game plan in Orlando Pirates worked exceptionally well because Ucheka, not Dino van Rooyen on the left-hand side. I think their game plan was left to Kumsendan. Isolate to Dino, play on a 1v1 situation. Maybe if you isolate him, we get in the box, we can create something. Dino won most of his duels. But to be honest with you, it is nothing special in my opinion. It is absolutely nothing special. 11 men behind the ball, hit and hope kind of football. Because you look at the first thing, Moroccans are good structurally defensive football, but their game lacks imagination. Under Udens, players like Abu Egna, players like who are there, Abu Msendane, so many players that are in that Marumo Gallants team. Yeah, they looked exciting.
They missed a player who Junior Zindonga.
Because
he tormented Pirates the last time they played. Yeah. They missed him a lot.
Yeah, also very difficult to play Escotin. So for me,
very
difficult to play Escotin. And another thing to consider is when they were Escotin, they lost 7-1. So it was very important.
The last time they were at the Orlando Stadium.
Yeah. So it was very important for them to consolidate, but also when you consolidate, have a game plan. But for me, I think the coach did have a game plan because you can tell that every time when they have the ball, they're looking for their speedy winger, a winger that can take people on. So he probably is the one that takes them 5 meters higher up the pitch. But now I think also you need to give credit to defensive Orlando Pirates, like I said, not Okis, BC, TLB, no, not Dino van Rooyen. But I feel that Dino, because I criticized him the last game, I think Umfana went on to do his corrections because it's important for these players to do corrections. I think into Begamshanga Msendan is that he was first man on the ball. Even though Begamshanga first man on the ball, he would allow him to be 2-3 meters away every time Magabane first, because also based on where he comes from, net development, Msendan, pitches are bumpy. We had this conversation.
Yeah.
So he's
Zimbabwe.
Controller. So every time he has a bad first touch or a bad control, Udino is there and he wins those duels. But also, midfield, the Orlando Pirates was completely different today. And the reason why I thought maybe they used Dlamini a little bit deeper is because they know that Usbisi has the responsibility of finding or breaking lines from deeper. Mbogazi has the same, but Udlamini brought that into their midfield. I think the quality that Udlamini brings is completely different from Umbata no Makaula. Umbata no Makaula, they always play safer passes. But I think Udlamini is the one that risks in that midfield because if we check Anamhlanje, Unkota, Uhoto, he's the one that was finding them from the progressive line. And then Utito, exceptional, different gravy. For me, that's football intelligence. That's football genius. I think he's got an exceptional football IQ, in my opinion. He occupies spaces that not a normal player. I think he's always 2 steps ahead, above everyone. He's got an unbelievable left foot. He knows when to use his right. He knows when to drive. He knows when to defend. Because there was moments in the game where we saw him defending. He's very creative. The Orlando Pirates, he's a big player for Orlando Pirates.
All right, we have another game playing. And we talk about the striker, so Orlando Pirates. I think it's an unnecessary problem that they get themselves into because it's a win for Orlando Pirates.
Yeah.
But I think every honest human being inside the Orlando Stadium were frustrated by Makgopa.
Yeah.
We've always been speaking about him, but we're careful that we don't come across as if we are bullying the player. Yeah. We only talk about the match as we saw it happen. Mm-hmm. Why him? Why all the time? Why is he always playing? Why are they playing him in particular?
Firstly, Mr. Nkeo, I want to be nice to the guy because we have to advise him, right? Because it's going to seem like an attack. In Manchester United, when Abu Wayne Rooney and so many Abu Roy Keane were playing, Abu Rooney van
Ruud van
Nistelrooy, Terry Henry, Rooney, all of those best strikers, Abu York, if they don't score, they don't talk to anyone on the pitch, even if the team won. I don't see Makgopa the desire to want to be the top goal scorer at Orlando Pirates, the all-time top goal scorer. I don't see the desire to be selfish. Every striker has to have the ability and the capabilities to be selfish on the box. I don't see him creating opportunities for himself. I don't see him having the desire, even on penalties. He's a striker. I've never seen him take a penalty. For me, that is not a striker. People were saying he's a center forward, not a striker. And I said, okay, it's okay. I'm the one that made football jargon a little bit popular in this country. And I said, it's okay. And I said, maybe according to their understanding, a center forward is, there's a left side, there's a right, and there's a center. So
without complicating it, what is he there for at Pirates?
He must be a defensive striker, basically. For me,
is that what Pirates wants from him, the coaching staff?
Not just Pirates, Big clubs should never play with a striker that doesn't score. His return per game is not even 1 goal. How many goals does he score in 2 games?
Even not even goals, but shots.
Shots on target.
Yeah.
Mkulego, there's a shot that he took outside the box where technically the boy is not superior. He's playing for Orlando Pirates, but technically he looks like a SAP player. For me, his movement is probably the only good thing. He's a good defensive center back with modern football, because what they want from him is to move around without the ball. But for me, Orlando Pirates should never, in their history, play with a striker fana no Makgopa. It's unacceptable coming from an era number 15, Cheris Kosana. So always speaks about it. They come from an era Leslie Manyatel. They even come from an era Lindo Pep, Dennis Laughter. To have a striker that doesn't even score 10 goals in a season is unacceptable. For Orlando Pirates to win the league, similar to Mamelodi Sundowns, I'm sorry to bring them up. No matter what you say about Peter Shalulile, I'm a big critic of Peter, but he scores you 20 goals a season.
Yeah, if you remove the 20 goals, then you're not obvious that you're going to win the league.
You're not obvious that you're going to win the league. For me, those are things that Makgopa needs to improve in his game personally. And for me, the boy, found him when he was 22. He's 24. That means he's been working with him for 2 years now. Can the boy, no, who's this guy? Stephen Curry, with basketball. You watch about Steph Curry, they've got nutritionists, they've got a skill coach, he's got a shoot. Can Makgopa has a skill coach? Can he have a conditioning coach? Can he also have a finishing coach who's going to work with the boy consistently after training for 2? If Nkulego, there's no one to do that. I volunteer. I'm a development coach. I do train strikers. I can help the boy in finishing. Myself, I'm putting my hand up to say, can I help Nkalagata with training and striker finishing training? Because for me, he's got all the attributes, all the necessary attributes. But the finishing ability, what is needed, and also, even if you can train him, but also mentality, he has to fix psychological profile. Can he, can he sulk a little bit? To show that I always want to score in every game. That's why big strikers are what they are.
Sure.
It's because of that desire alone to say, if I don't score in this match, I definitely have to score in the next match. I don't know when the last time I saw Makgopa score. So for me, there's a lot of things that he has to improve in his game. But other than that, congratulations to Orlando Pirates.
There you go. Thank you so much. Sibambe kulondawo leyo ke. Ezicela umsebenzi umqeqesho. Yeah, awukwazi kumfundisa umuntu ba abe nobundlobongela be striker. Ayinabundlobongela. Yeah. Ayina strikers aggression, strikers instinct, ayinamona we striker nokungcola kwe striker. Utso wayengeso striker kodwa wayengcolile. He would take an opportunity and change it for himself. When Namibia lost to South Africa in 1998 at the African Cup of Nations, Benny McCarthy scored 4 goals. The 4th goal that he scored, he took a chance from Mushuz Musheo, deliberate. He just took the ball and then he scored. That was either the 3rd or the 4th goal in 1998. And that was Benny McCarthy at 18 years old, 19 years old. And we knew from that moment that this striker is going to be king. He ended up becoming the highest ever goal scorer in the history of Bafana Bafana. A striker who took a chance from a senior player, he took it, scored a 4th goal. He could have just said, I have 3 already, but he scored a 4th goal, took it from Mushuz Musheo. And those who watched it remember it. And from that reference point, we know that we've had better strikers. Well done to Orlando Pirates. They go to the final yet again. Well done to Coach Jose Rivero and the team as well. iDiskiTV, iDiski Times was sports betting. For breaking news, go to iDiskiTimes.co.za.
Shapunjan bafowethu igama lami Lindo Pep, the best analyst in the country. Please don't forget to subscribe to iDiskiTV. Tanko.
This is Bongane Benedict Villagazi, they call me so. Niyazi bafowethu, ama coach for life, they are back in winning ways. Please, siyacela ukuthi subscribe iDiskiTV.